Hey there. Today is another listener question that I'm going to be answering, and it's one I hear a lot. You might even have this question too. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Intuitive Eating Mama podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer D'Amato. I am an intuitive eating counselor, and I'm also a mom to four. This podcast is not just for mamas, it's for all women who are ready to ditch diets, ditch the scale and food guilt forever, and instead invite peace with food, increase their body trust, and confidence in all of her choices. I believe this show is going to shed some light on sneaky ways diet culture has infiltrated your thoughts, your family, and your well-being. No matter the episode, I want you to walk away feeling informed, inspired, and encouraged. So whether you're taking a walk, washing the dishes, or carting kids around, let's dive into the latest episode on the Intuitive Eating Mama podcast. All right, first I want to thank Michelle for submitting this question because I think it's a common question. It's one I actually hear, I'd say top 5, maybe even top 3. And it's very simple, but very involved. If I stop dieting, will I gain weight? Now, sometimes I hear it phrased as, if I, do intuitive eating, if I'm, not pursuing weight loss, am I going to gain weight? And I could very just simply tell you, I don't know, because that's the truth. The truth is I don't know. The truth is there's a few things that can happen when you stop dieting. You can gain weight. You can stay the same. And some people with intuitive eating have lost weight. The thing is, when you stop dieting, the focus is no longer on your weight. The focus can become about your health. There's some interesting things I want to share here that could be for you what else you might want to know. Because the simple answer of I don't know kind of lands you in that place of, well, that's not very helpful. And it's not. I understand that. But if we can acknowledge even for a moment, you've probably been focusing on your weight for so long. That's why your thought goes directly to your weight. And even if you're not actively thinking about your weight, you certainly can see how we live in such a weight-centric culture. People judging weight, people talking about other people's weight, people comparing weights, people just non-stop talking about dieting and weight loss. So of course you're going to be focused on your weight. I want to share some interesting information, and I'm not just here to make things up. I mean, I could tell you from personal experience, I gained a bunch of weight and I had to do a lot of body image work because my body image was trashed. It was trashed from dieting, not from gaining weight. That just added to it. That just messed with my mind because I had such a distorted view of my body. But I want to give you some actual, factual, scientific information. I actually want to give you something that might give you what I like to give everyone, which is a sense of hope. Now, one of the things we know about dieting, that it doesn't work, it also results in weight cycling. And that weight cycling is that, I lost weight, I gained weight, I lost weight, I gained weight. Can you relate to that? When I was on the diet, it worked, and I lost all this weight. As soon as I stopped, I gained it all back and then some. Did you know that weight cycling actually may increase the risk of developing heart disease or type 2 diabetes? Again, I'm not making this stuff up. This was a study done back in 2011. Now think about that. If you knew all the risks of weight cycling, would you want to stay in that? I mean, we can talk about science down to that biological cellular level. It's not like the cells of your body are like, oh, we're on a temporary diet. Oh, okay. No, the way they interpret dieting, the way they interpret that restriction is starvation.
And what happens because of that? Your body goes into that like survival mode. Do you know what survival mode means when it comes to your body? It means it's going to slow your metabolism down, right? If you think about that metabolism, you're processing all the food that you're eating, working it through the body, taking what it needs, getting rid of the rest. Your body's going to slow that down because it's like, hey, you're not giving me enough. So I'm going to slow this down, use it for as long as I can. Now, your body gets in this survival mode, right? It is going to adapt to that way of being. You stop the diet, you hit your breaking point. Your metabolism doesn't go, oh, okay, all right, things have changed, we're good now, let's get back to how we used to be. No, it is adapted to this slower processing. When people talk about my metabolism is shot, well, it's the diets. It's like training our body on that biological, cellular level to say, hey, I really don't need you to work efficiently. That sucks. So the reason when you stop dieting, you may gain weight is your metabolism is slower. We've taught it. We've taught it to just not operate efficiently. One of the other things that dieting does is create cravings. Create cravings that might not have even been there before. Why? It's about restriction. When you've restricted certain foods, maybe a certain type of food, or just you have a laundry list of foods, you're like, these are unhealthy, these are bad, I can't have these. You stop the diet. What do you usually go right for? Think about it for a minute. Just pull yourself back in that experience from dieting to stopping the diet, feeling like you cheated. Oh my gosh, I hate that term. And then what happens? Well, I'm going for all the foods I didn't allow myself to have because screw everything. And you feel out of control, right? Diets create those cravings. So then, of course, what's going to happen is you're eating these foods, your metabolism's probably slowed. You are feeling out of control because of the restriction and that pendulum swing all the way to the other side. You might gain weight. And then, of course, what are we taught? We're taught that any weight gain is bad. We're unhealthy. Oh my goodness. There's so many messages clouding what's really happening. What if the question weren't about gaining weight? What if it's, if I stop dieting, what will I gain? If I really stop focusing on losing weight, what can I gain? What if I told you intuitive eaters have a higher self-confidence, higher self-esteem? They actually have some improved health markers. What if I told you if you stop dieting, you'll gain that confidence back that you thought the diet would give you, but you'll also gain a healthy relationship with food? Now, if you are a mama like I am, what if I also told you by not dieting, you'll gain this amazing future for your family? What if you gained the ability to pass on a healthy relationship with food and body? Think about that for a moment. If I stop dieting, what will I gain? When it comes to my health, my overall well-being, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, what can I gain? What if I gained back my time? Like all the brain space I have devoted to thinking about the next diet, about, tracking and counting and, assessing points and all of this. Like, what if I got my brain space back? What if that's what you gained? Now, Michelle, I know you asked this question. If I stop dieting, will I gain weight? And I want to just go right back to that beginning. You might. You might gain weight, but not because you're a failure, not because there's something wrong with your body or you, but you might gain weight because of all these things that I've shared here. You might gain weight because of dieting. There's an amazing link, which we don't want to hear this, and no one talks about this when you're going to start the first ever diet. There's a link between dieting and weight gain. We always think, oh, diet leads to weight loss. Well, diets lead to weight gain. And part of it is that weight cycling. We talked about the metabolism slowing, the cravings increasing. What if none of that existed anymore for you? Now, I've said it before. I don't know how many times more I'll say it. You might be sick of hearing it. But if you're new here, maybe you've never heard it. I'm the heaviest I've ever been and the happiest. I have a healthy relationship with food. I have a healthy relationship with my body. And as the intuitive eating mama, I know I'm not passing on this toxic, unhealthy relationship with food to my children. That to me is worth everything. Everything to me. I think that could be a really great exercise for you, Michelle, and for all of you listeners out there. So if I stop dieting, what can I gain? What can I get back in my life? I could go out to eat without stressing. More girls' nights. Oh, I could start making my favorite dishes. I remember this client I had a couple years ago where she was like, wait a minute. I can make beef stroganoff. I haven't had it. It was years. I mean, I'm talking years and years and years because she's like, it never fit in with the diet. And when she made it, she was like, she couldn't believe how much she had missed it. And she's like, I can't believe how much time and energy I'd given to not having something I truly enjoy. I feel that. I feel that so deeply. So what could you gain? What could you get back in your life if you stop dieting? Now, might that come with weight? Yes. Like I'd never deny that. And I don't deny how that feels when that happens. I don't ignore it. I don't, sweep it under the carpet and pretend it's not there. My clients know, like, we're going to address it. The thoughts that come up with weight gain and really start breaking those down as well. But first, we address the food. We always address the food because I want you to be nourished. I want you to see all that you're getting back too when you're not dieting. It's amazing to me every single time, and you'd think I'd be over it. I'm so not. When a client's like, Jen, I cannot believe how much I'm not thinking about food anymore. Like, what could you possibly envision for yourself you can think about when you're not giving all of this time to food? It's one very small piece of your life. Imagine getting all of that time and energy and thought back. Ooh, I get so excited. I get excited for you. I get excited every time I hear it again. It doesn't get old. It doesn't get old because I know what that feeling is to go from constantly focused on my weight and food and my body to it just being this one part of my life that just needs a small amount of attention each day. And that's it. All right, before I let you go here on this episode, something I want to make sure I mention. You're going to be seeing it, hearing about it if you follow me on social media, if you're on Instagram with me, or even if you're part of my private community on Facebook. All of these links are in the show notes. Something you're going to be hearing about is group coaching for spring is going to be opening enrollment. Now, I have some amazing things coming. I even have a pre-sale going on. You do not want to miss this. It's an amazing opportunity to come in and do this work, to get your brain space back, to gain all of these things, and to feel supported about your weight, about the thoughts you have about gaining weight or the weight you've gained, all of that. If you like, Jen, listen, I really don't want to be looking on social media every single day. Can you just tell me, like, it's open, I want the information, I want to meet with you? Yes. If you're listening to this podcast and you're like, all right, I've really been in this like debate, do I want to join, Jen's group coaching? Do I want some support on my journey? All you have to do is head into the show notes, find my email, and send me one. That's it. It's Jennifer@healthcoach4life.com. That's it. Very, very simple. Yes, you can go to theintuitiveatingmama.com. You can go look at group coaching. But if you want that pre-sale, the information you don't want to miss out, send me an email, put it in the subject line, group coaching, and I will make sure you get all of the details. All right, head into the show notes now, grab that, and I will meet you right back here next week for another episode.